Alright, hey everyone. Originally I was gonna do a video showing off the Adventure Islands, but everything here is off by an hour. So because of daylight savings times, everything here got fucked up. So that went out the window. So I'm just gonna do an Infinite Chaos dungeon. I know I do them a lot, but I want to talk about my current thoughts on the things that are going on in the community and what people are saying and how things are going. Um, so yeah. So let's just start things off with Argus came out, and a lot of the community is a little bit upset in the current time because they feel like this was whale bait or enticing people to spend money on the game, which I understand because yes, you know, everybody wants to be doing the best content in the game. They want to be doing the number one content. They wanna feel like, you know, they're all caught up and they can do the hardest things in the game, or, you know, like they want to be able to feel like they can do all the content. And a lot of people are upset because this makes them feel as if they have to spend money on the game because of the fact that they weren't able to do the content, and they feel like this is just for the whales and it's whale bait and enticing people to spend money. And I completely understand where they're coming from, but in my opinion, this was not whale bait. This was just planned. Now, earlier today, if you were watching Asmon Gold's stream, Stoops, Zeal's Ambitious, and Asmon were all on a call, and they talked about Argos coming out, and, you know, if it was whale bait, this, that, and the other. Now, they do make some good points that don't contain the Argus, but we'll first go over the Argus points. I'm in agreement that I think that this was going to happen either way, and I'm also in agreement that a lot of people that I think are mad are the people that were truly not going to be able to do the content anyways. I am currently in tier 2. I am not in a rush to get to tier 3. I'm not in a rush to do Argus. I'm not in a rush to do anything. I'm just playing the game at my own pace, having fun, which I think this game was designed for, and I think that's the best part of it. Now, you may be saying, you know, how is it not whale bait? How is it not this, that, and the other? And here's what I'll say. They previously, in the original one of the live streams with Gold River, he did say they were releasing Argus a month after release. Well, it's a month after release. Argus got released. Whether you're there or not, it doesn't matter. The only people, and I agree with Stoops in this, the only people that deserve to be mad are the people that were on the cusp of 1370 or 1375 and were just slightly away. And some of the people in there also did make a point to say, like, this might entice those players to spend money, but nobody has to spend money. Realistically, most players were not gonna get to Argus in the time period. It probably would have been best for them to wait a little bit and release it, but they did what they said they were gonna do. Can you complain about that? No. And you know what? To be honest, in my opinion, it's fine. In fact, it's probably for a good thing, because yes, Argus got released early. For a lot of players, they'd call it early. But in my eyes, it's just like, why is that a problem? That gives you content to look forward to. You are currently in tier 1. Most people are in tier 2, tier 1. There's probably a lesser amount of players in tier 3. Why does it matter that Argus got released at such a high tier? You're not gonna get there in time anyways. It just gives you content to look forward to. They already said the roadmap was delayed, and they want to change some things in the roadmap, which probably means that Vulcan won't be coming out for a while, and a lot of the other raids will be delayed a little bit. We're still gonna catch up, but I feel like a lot of people are over exaggerating the fact that Argus is at a higher, you know, item level than and like they seems like they're upset that they're not going to do them, and I get it, but I think that they need to stop and like sit back for a second, go and realize, like, hey, the content's coming out. It gives you something to look forward to. Sure, you're not there yet, but you're gonna get there. All right, and he's not like, it's not like that content is leaving. If it was limited time content and it was leaving, I would completely understand where players are coming from. If it was a limited time event where you can only fight Argus and he was doing this or that, I could understand. You know, you're like, hey, look, I get it, but he's leaving, and it's like that. I would understand, but Argus is not going anywhere. He's gonna be there next week, and he's gonna be there the week after that, and people are still gonna be doing, because from what I've heard from everybody and from what I've from what everybody said, Argus is a weekly endeavor. It means Argus will be done weekly, even at the higher end. Argus is still done, because he's a weekly thing, and he gives great rewards. He gives gold, especially, which is what a lot of people want. Is they just want the gold, and I get it. But a lot of people, you guys need to understand, a lot of people that are complaining about this are in tier 2. They're not even in tier 3 yet, and they're worried about not being able to do Argus. What does it matter? You know, the game is only, you can only play the game at the like in the pace you want to play the game. You can't play it faster just because you want to do content. I mean, you could, but is it worth burning yourself out of a game and ruining the entire experience just because you wanted to do one snippet, one 1/10 of the full content in the game the moment it comes out? Is that truly worth it? And I don't think so. I mean, think about it. We've got so much content down the line. We've got Vulcan. We've got several classes. Destroyer's probably gonna be the first one to come out. I'll go on that in a bit soon. You know, you've got all this content that is coming out, and sure, you may not be able to do the starter bit a month after release immediately, but that's not a problem, because you still have several other months to catch up and be ready to do that content. And I get it. The big thing that I'm in agreement with is that the honing buff should have been released. Do I think they should have like super buffed it? I don't know. Is it bad they didn't release the honing buffs? I'd argue it's probably a chess analogies, a blunder. It was probably not like the smartest move for them to not release the enhancement buffs. But do I think it's the end of the world? No. I'm in tier 2, and I could honestly care less about if the enhancements get buffed or not. I'm playing the game, I'm having fun. I've got mats to get me to tier 3, and maybe then I'll care. But even then, I'm a big fan of grindy games, and I knew going into this that once you get into the tier 1, I mean, past tier 1, and you get into tier 2, tier 3, the game starts to become a grind fest. And I'm all aboard for those games. I love games that are grind fest, and it doesn't bother me. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna be going into Argus anytime soon, and that doesn't bother me. Now, I will go into the next part of the things we're hearing about. So the first class that they're speculated to be releasing with the roadmap, speculated to be the Destroyer. That's what they at least was leaked in the leaked roadmap. Does that mean it's guaranteed? Not necessarily, but I'd imagine they'd push back content before they worry about like that we're changing the release classes. I don't think this is a bad thing. I know the Destroyer is probably a class that players aren't necessarily the most looking forward to, which is fine. You know, I don't think that they're, you know, it entices people to play a class that's a little less played. It'll probably be getting a buff. I mean, from what I've heard, it's even kind of underused in Korea, and this is supposed to be the year of gameplay and like class balancing. So it might be getting a buff, which is good, and I think it's fine to release a class that is going to probably end up being lesser played first. Get the community interested, and like the people that want to dedicate their time and effort into playing the Destroyer class, get them into their class. If they don't, and you know, the players that, you know, aren't interested, I mean, they could still give it a shot and try it out, and maybe, who knows, they might find out that they like the class. But I don't think it's a fail in any way. I know a lot of people are looking forward to Scouter, so am I. But I'm not too worried about it. I think they said the next one that's either going to come out with Destroyer or after that is either Astrologian or Summoner. Not quite sure on the second one, but I know that they said there's supposed to be another class following up, or coming with it at least. And I think that's perfectly fine. Releasing 2 classes at a time will, you know, expedite the process, and hopefully I think we'll inevitably catch us up to Korea quicker. I think it's a good idea. But yeah, just mostly what I wanted to talk about was Argus and the community uproar, and like, you know, like my thoughts on the whole thing. Um, if you wanted me to say like, do I think people should be upset about it? I'm in agreement with a lot of people, with Stoops on this. Um, he was saying that he believes that the only people that should be angry are the people that were close to being there and were on the border and now just have to wait an extra week. Those are the only people that I think deserve to be mad. I think everybody else likes to get angry about things even though it's not going to affect them. There's no universe where half these people are going to be doing Argos this week anyways. And to be honest with you, most of those people probably weren't even going to get to Argos at all. Now, it doesn't excuse, you know, releasing content early, but it also like I said, in my opinion, when content is released early, I'm never really one to care about getting the world's first raid, getting the world's first anything. It's never really been my thing. I just been like, I like doing the hardest content, and you know, like at least getting to the point where I've done the hardest content in the game, or can say I have, or at least attempted it. And I don't need to go first. It like honestly, to me, I feel like that would have just, you know, made it a little less fun, because that would have mean that I would have had to grind this game even harder than I already am. I'm like I said, I'm going at my own pace. I'm having fun. I'm not like crazy grinding, but still. And you know, I started late compared to everybody else as well. But I gotta say, I don't know. I just, from somebody who's in tier 2 and knows that the people that are probably complaining about this the most are the people that are in the same you know, tier as me, I think it's pointless. You know, we're all edging closer to getting to tier 3, but I don't think there's any reason to complain about this. I don't think Argos' release was too soon. I think that, like I said, I think that it could have waited, but I don't think it's bad that there's content just to look forward to. I think the community's really overacting on this one. Now, some minor things that I want to talk about. Amazon communication. I feel like a lot of times I feel like they do post on Twitter a lot, but it's not, their communication isn't always the best. A lot of people, especially me, were looking forward to this patch potentially holding the quality of life changes that Korea has seen recently, with the head attack and back attack markers, and the thing with like ults where you can see if they've done their dailies and such. But we didn't see that, which I think is a little bit of a shame, because that's a really, I would really like that, especially as a Deadeye main. I'd really like to see the back attack marker, because sometimes you know, it's kind of where all my damage relies, is in the back attack. So, but I think ultimately, in my opinion, the community's a little overreacting right now. I think people need to sit back, think about where they are in the game, and think about, you know, how will this affect me? Like, why does this update affect me? And honestly, I don't think it does. I think everybody's just, you know, like, they want to be competitive, they want to do the raid when it comes out, but I'm like, guys, like, realistically, a lot of people weren't, like, even if they could do the raid, some of them probably still wouldn't do the raid. But I don't know. This is just my opinion on the whole subject. I know that there's a lot bigger names out there talking about this. There's a lot bigger people out there talking about this. But I just wanted to give my opinion on, you know, everything that's going on, and these subjects, at least in my opinion, that, you know, well, in the grand scheme of things, are very minor. But we'll see. You know, I'm not a veteran like these people that are talking about it a lot, that have been playing in Korea and Russia, and I haven't like experienced, you know, the game at the extent that they have. So maybe, you know, when I'm later on, I'll completely understand, you know. But even then, I'm at the same place as a lot of these people, and I can just comfortably say, like, Argos is content that I'm looking forward to. Not content that I'm in a rush to get to. It's not content that I'm even worried about doing when I get there, like, immediately. Argos is content that when I feel like at the time is time, and where I feel like I'm ready, I'll go into that fight. But right now, I'm just like, you know what? It's not going anywhere, and neither am I. I've been enjoying the game. I'm going to continue to grind the game. But in my opinion, you know, it's whatever you think as a player. You know, but I think that you should, you cut yourself some slack. Look at the situation where you are. Look at the situation. Look at take a realistic time and think like a thought and think about the time that you're gonna have to invest to get from where you are to even doing Argus. Like, what have even happened if they delayed it a little bit? I think a lot of people, no, it really wouldn't have. The higher end people that are a little bit closer probably would have made it. But I don't know, guys. I just wanted to give my thoughts on everything. Even the minor things is like Destroyer and Astrologian coming out, and this whole Argus community uproar thing that's going on. But yeah, guys. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay cozy. You know. Hope your grinds and your rolls go well. And peace out, guys.